Hello, all, and happy holidays. It's your Commissioner of Curl, Charisma, and Conquering Goals, LaROI Skippy Davis here. And as we all choose to be great, I'd also like to add, you can't fly if you don't flap your wings. And that unbeknownst to me was destined to happen one Friday night, bristling with equal parts opportunity, all-night activator, and action. So travel back with me to the era of ebullient efficacy, 1987, when the leader of Russia had a tattoo of a piece of scrapple on his head. Millions of children everywhere were dying needlessly playing Contra on Nintendo until the sweet Lord himself blessed the gaming gospel with the original cheat code. Liam Neeson was somewhere being 56 years old and only 16 years away from being a movie star. And white folks on TV had taken the peculiar habit of either letting black folks apparently more smarter and bossy than them run their entire household, or just adopting young black boys who genetically could not or would not ever grow to full-size Negroes. It was a beautiful time. And that's where I found myself after recently retiring from plunger repairing. As luck would have it, I entered the glamour and glitz of the city's nightlife as doorman for the premier secondary club in town, Efficiency at 451. And as I've said, I was privy to all manner of pseudo-celebrities, kind of famous folks, stars that still got part-time jobs, none other than the bane of my existence, the worst part of it all, the one and only indomitable Stoney Jackson, a man who once patented a French toast and gummy bear-smelling cologne called Flavor, pronounced like a man who takes a woman to IHOP just because he heard they serve steaks. This was a cologne that only attracted overweight women and child molesters, so it was only on the market for about 3 weeks. He was the Skeletor to my He-Man, dumb son of a bitch, the electricity to my Amish community, the Morgan Freeman to my biological concept of death. And it will always be the little shit he'd do, showing off with the black rat backpack, like tipping me a quarter, 2 dimes, and a penny every time he came through. I guess it was his little joke with his crew that the doorman of 451 should get 451 cents. But the ignorant bastard's so dumb, he don't see how that's really wrong math on at least 3 levels, the least of which being first grade addition. From putting Pop Rocks in my Pepsi, yeah, that's where that came from, to getting Marlon Rando and TD super drunk, then telling them he was so they long-lost kin when he wasn't no Jackson. He was just a Negro named Jackson. He was just all-around asshole. And after 3 Harvey Wallbangers, which he would always finish by banging the empty glass on the back wall of the bar, gave 2 bartenders eye patches with his beige bastard bullshit. But on this particular night, it was the perfect storm of circumstances that would either destroy you or cause you to choose to be great. So with Stoney's stupid ass and the rest of the black rat brat pack already taken care of, I had gotten a chance to really take in the splendor of the night's crowd. There was Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers running in and out of the bathroom with Jack Tripper's homeboy Larry from Three's Company. It wasn't neither one of them wiping their nose. It's like it was snowing at the Regal Beagle. Halfway celebrity and wrestler apprentice Virgil was there. A man, Evan, it was his wrestling gimmick persona that was highly inappropriate and offensive, not to mention supreme bad taste. We wasn't never sure if he was the $1 Million Man's bodyguard, butler, manservant, or what everybody but Virgil saw it as, the blonde-haired white boy's wrestling slave. And, true story, decades later, I see Virgil selling autographed pictures in the middle of the mall for $5, and folk walking past him like a semi-fit mannequin. There was martial arts phenom Jim Kelly holding court at a back table, always in a leather vest with no shirt, sweating like a fireman in Africa, but coming through the crowd like the royalty they saw themselves as, and their head up, so much respect and dignity, was Leon Isaac Kennedy and his ethereal wife. The questions: what would a Lamborghini look like if it was a woman? Or what if God made just one angel black? Now, this piece of pure perfection was on the arm of Leon Isaac Kennedy, otherwise known as Too Sweet from the penitentiary films. Now, I'm not even sure he spent 2 hours in a holding cell, much less a penitentiary, but he was sure enough cocky, even though he was still built like a high school janitor to get high on his breaks. Now, all these folks, unbeknownst to them, were ingredients for what would be the most infamous night in the history of Efficiency 451. Now, everyone was there for the headlining A-list for at least 6 months talent, Orange Juice Jones, there to perform and promote his sophomore album, GTO, Gangsters Taking Over. People forget Orange Juice was one of the first sign-ins to Def Jam, possibly 12 minutes after LL Cool J. He also had the dubious distinction of being one of the few albums fully produced by Russell Simmons. Now, Orange Juice was a mix between what Drake is now, your drunk uncle that never married and come home from jail every other summer, and a middle school gym teacher that used to play in the minor leagues. He was warming up the crowd and killing it with always pleasurable sounds of DJ Kit Kat. So as the crowd gets into it, little do I know, as I'm taken aback in the coat room filled with so many tricolored shearlings, it's like we had leather rainbows on coat hangers. From all accounts, half-ass wrestler, full-time indentured servant Virgil got drunk and bumped Leon Isaac Kennedy. Too Sweet dropped his drink down the tiny leather vest exposed for no reason chest of Jim Kelly, and wouldn't you know it, that's when DJ Kit Kat chose to play of all songs, Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas. And damned if that's not what everybody done. Cousin Larry broke a chair right over Virgil's head, and Virgil's supposed to be the wrestler. Jim Kelly gets to doing discount roundhouse kicks on anybody. Then the ninja stars start throwing, otherwise known as shuriken for you illiterate folks out there. And through it all, I see ebony excuse for effervescence, Jane Kennedy, looking lost like an anorexic girl at a buffet table. With the speed of the gods, I was ducking throwing stars and stepping haymakers, quite purposely punching Stoney Jackson in that glistening mop of Vaseline he called hair, not because he was in my way, but just because I can't stand that greasy, Twinkie-colored skinned son of a bitch. And before I knew it, I had Miss Kennedy in my arms like a knight with a princess. With no regard to myself, I had unknowingly chosen to be great. And when the smoke cleared and the dust settled, old Skippy Davis was a doorman, no moreman. The appreciative angel Miss Kennedy made me quit on the spot. I now had a new job, LaROI Skippy Davis, bodyguard to the almost stars.